That's cool.
Yeah, it's
We're
always
live.
there. Oh,
Can you guys see that when it says live?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sick. What's up, everybody? It's a long time no see. No watchers,
Long
but someone
time.
will watch it later. Well, we had Legends. I almost said something else, Fittest of the Coast, but that's coming up. We had Legends and then holidays, and just we want to change the time. This will be close to the regular time, Harley.
Yeah.
All right, because we wanted to have Harley on. Get Harley on more often.
Fridays at noon.
All right, sick.
That's what we'll do.
This one's later then, but
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Friday at noon, be fun, good times. I wanted to talk about training and holidays, but before we got on, Harley was talking about his deadlift training, giving Tyler a props on his old training and how I want to see him make the comeback. Sick, Tyler. Be motivated by it. I want to see it.
I fitnessed it a little bit before.
It's like a unicorn, you just want to see it out in the wild.
What are you training right now, Todd? What are you trying to get better at other than muscle?
Surviving. Cody, when we got back from Legends, Cody and I were talking about the mode snatch from Legends, and he was just talking shit to me about my week, how weak I am. I was like, I'm not weak, dude. I can hit what those guys hit. And then I was doing some light snatches, as he says, light, making fun of me. I was doing 205. And then we looked at the mode snatch, the most commonly hit snatch for the 44-year-olds. And it was 225. So I was like, okay. And then I was like, I'll put it on right now. And I walked over and grabbed 210s, put it on, and just smoked it right in front of him. Slammed the bar on the ground and gave him the double birds and was just like, dude, don't come at me with that nonsense. Like, basically, Grandpa still got it. It's crazy to think that he's, 20? I think he's 23, right?
Dude, he's only 23.
I think so. Either 23 or 24. But yeah, when we train and stuff, I laugh because I'm like, dude, I'm like 20 years older than you. It makes me feel good, almost 20 years older than him. But like, it makes me feel pretty good. Pretty good. 18. I'm 18 years older than him. Almost 20. It's fine though. Close enough. But yeah, so I told him, I was like, you know what? Because we were talking about something else. I was like, I'm gonna train up again. I'm gonna snatch 275 for you, just because he snatched it recently. It looked real sick. So I want to do that again. I feel like that's a fun thing to do. And
I think that I could get to like lifetime PR absolute strength lifts like fairly easily, but I don't think I'll be able to hit lifetime PR Olympic lifts anytime soon.
Why is that?
I don't know. Just like movement quality, shoulder stability, like joint discomfort that comes with those heavier variations of like cleans.
Dude, 100%. Well, I did that 225 and the next day I felt like I lifted the world. Like I was like, my bones turned to dust for real.
I mean, like I can like 225 to 245, I think will always kind of be there, but it's like stuff just gets like uncomfortable in my snatch positions, like above 255. Like my consistency in my shoulder stability is just like hit and miss.
I mean, let's see if we run the numbers. I mean, realistically, to get a sound adaptation and get close to 275, I really don't have to snatch like 220 pretty regularly, like for like a training day.
Sure.
So that's not too bad. That's on the low end. That's the 80%. That's on the low end.
You just need to touch 80% like 8 weeks in a row and then just like
pretty much.
Just like,
I mean, today I was doing 1.1 at 185 and it felt so easy. So I was kind of motivated of like, okay, like this could actually happen. Like it felt like it was 135.
Nice.
Cody's going to say something in the comments of, it looked like it was. And then we pulled out the ramp because they're training for mode. Not that they're going to have like a ramp. I mean, they might. Marissa was like, oh, it's easy to buy 5 of them and to run 5 heats and have the ramp stair handstand obstacle. And I could see that, but also like then you got 5 at your gym, which I don't know. I think running a comp, that would be one of the perks of like an in-gym comp. You just buy a bunch of equipment and then use it like all year with the gym like JR does. and
Yeah.
then, keep it around because they are selling some stuff. So we went on the equipment sale site to see what they had, and they have like the ski erg, the sandbags, rowers, just kind of give us an idea of like the movement selection potential.
I can't.
And so we pulled out the ramp, started playing around with it. And the best thing is, so Ruth was in there, my daughter. She's over in the corner. And I did finally get up the stairs down the ramp. It took me a little bit to shake the dust off of that skill. And then there's nothing better than just like, yeah, dad, like little 2-year-old. It's so good. It's so rewarding. I almost was like, I quit CrossFit. I don't need to do it ever again. It was the best. So that's basically what my training is like right now. Trying to get through it.
It's
Snatch
just
275, do a bunch of
playing
muscle
with
ups.
skills, doing some muscle ups,
Yeah.
snatching 220 for 1.1.1.
Yeah. I didn't know you were doing 1.1.1. I thought you were just trying to hit a single until you finally felt okay. Well, then it looked good then, I guess.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I'll coach the class and sometimes I'll see because I write, the programming for our gym, and I'll watch, and then like today I did the class workout because everyone just died. And I was like, oh, okay, I like this. And then I also gave it to Nate and Paige, who are a couple of my one-on-ones, to see what they would do, and also just give them a 20-minute. Paige loves things like that where it makes sense with the rest of her training that she did today, and then she just likes to work hard. And then Nate had a bunch of shoulder work, and I just want to see how far he'd get, and he did great.
What was the class workout?
It was 2 rounds of 50 dumbbell cleans, 50 box jump overs.
Oh,
50
dumbbell
thrusters. Yeah. That was good.
Yeah, that was something.
It was so good. In the box jump overs, when I was doing them, the whole time, all I could think about was like, this is like where you get good on people. Like I was getting motivated of just like, okay, like work hard because most people don't want to at this point. Especially in the second round of box jump overs, it was good. Even though I was dying, and Paige finished before me across the room because we started at different times. And in the second round of dumbbell clean, she's like, "Come on, pick it up." It was fully needed right then. Super helpful that she screamed across the room for that. So I like it. Pretty sound. But training. Go ahead.
My short-term goal is just to try to lift consistently across the week. I think doing kind of conjugate-ish model of accommodating resistance, and then for a dynamic upper, dynamic lower, max effort upper, max effort lower, followed by some CrossFit and or class workout at the end of each session, and then from there try to bike in an ideal scenario 3 days a week on the trainer, like every other day, basically.
Nice.
Just do fully concurrent model across the week, 6-day split, and then 1 day would be bike and upper body on the same day if I can make the time on the weekends to do that. And that's basically my training split that I would like to do, in the ideal scenario, if I stay consistent with that. And then from there, ideally I'll get strong enough to feel confident in taking an effort, one rep max effort at the end of whatever this training block looks like in each lift. And then to Cody's point, still biking, ideally at least have enough exposure to it that if I choose an event for the summer, late spring, from the cycling side of things, I can kind of peak for that. That's the idea.
Well, that's a good training split.
It's a training split.
It's a training split. It's training split, template, structure.
It's an outline. It's an idea.
I know. Those are always crazy to me. How much pushback we've gotten when we say template for people, because that's my word of choice.
Yeah.
But
outline.
Yeah, because I say template.
Yeah.
But I guess I didn't really realize this, but template is used in
blogs,
group training.
Sure.
GPP class, and where everybody does one program.
Yeah.
And I just use the word template. I got pushback on it, so I try to change it. I say it's training structure now.
Yeah.
Feels weird.
I say outline and training splits.
Yeah.
Same
All right,
idea.
training during the
Priority.
holidays. Yeah,
Yeah.
priorities. There you go.
Yeah.
Dude, you know, I realized because you're in a gym. I think being in a gym during the holidays is different than like training in a garage or like being a one-on-one. Because I didn't realize how many people like wanted to train. It's been lit. Like,
It is.
although today we probably could have did like open gym and just had one class, but Christmas Eve, ton of people. I'm anticipating a ton of people next week. And I was really impressed with how many people train during the holidays. And I think I undershot how much people like to exercise.
I think I overshot it.
Oh, this is good. So here's my
No.
here's my perspective, and then I would love to hear yours because we're in different gyms. But like, yes, a lot of people came in. But then I was also thinking on the car ride home today because it's snowing, how many people, like you have like people go out to the ski resort and they go as a group and they have a good time. And there's some people like stay on, like myself, I'll stay on the hill like the whole time. And then there's people who do like a couple of runs and then sit in the lodge. And I was trying to think of like, what is the, like the same analogy to training? Because for the people that like to train, like Kathleen and Nate come in and they're there training a bunch. And like yesterday it was sunny and no snow. And I told Nate, I was like, hey man, you got to like or not yesterday, the day before Christmas Eve. I was like, just do A and like C and just get out of here because enjoy like the weather outside. Like you and Kathleen take the dogs and go for a walk or something. But he like did all his training because he really enjoyed it, which is like what kind of get the ball rolling for me of just thinking about training during the holidays. It's a time where you have a ton. I feel like watching people where they might have a lot of free time. Not everyone. Some people still got to work, but majority of people had a lot of free time in the gym. The open gym time, the class times were full and the energy was high. And obviously people are more excited because they don't got to work and everything else. But I feel like there's a level of that like skiing analogy where it is something you could do a little bit more of with your friends versus like just your 1 hour. And then obviously there's still people with the 1 hour, but
yeah, in our gym, I think that a lot of people really enjoy the outside of the gym life and events and all the things that come with living in Denver. And we haven't had any snow. Like it's been really nice weather, like 65 to 73 degrees across the week. Super like beautiful for outdoorsy activities.
So you're out there playing pickleball.
So everyone's out there playing pickleball, going on hikes, like going still
Same.
The trails aren't like muddy because normally at this time of year, there's enough snowfall where like in any shaded covered trail, it's kind of just sloppy and nasty. So people are still out doing stuff, still going on bike rides, still going on hikes and doing all this stuff outside the gym because the environment's allowing them to do so. And I think that that's, added layer. And I think a lot of people actually travel because there's the whole like transplant like population of Denver. Like not very many are actually local here for their entirety of their life. So I think a lot of people do travel away from here to go back to their hometown. I think that's probably the difference of like a metropolitan area versus like a smaller town, Rochester.
Yeah.
I'm speculating a little bit, of course, but like,
I think we had less people travel out versus more people travel in.
You had less people travel out?
Yeah, I think so. Like
more people come home to Rochester?
Yeah, I'd have to look at
kind of my point.
The actual numbers. But like the sense of like just being in the classes and watching and seeing, I think that's more of it. But
yeah, it was kind of my thought. It was like more people would travel to Rochester to go home and visit family than more people would like come to Denver. Right. And just like looking at the classes, it's been a pretty slow week. Like there's been 1 to 2 classes per day that have been like popping and like really big. And then like there's been multiple classes where there's no one. And I'm like, oh, this is weird. But it's the holiday week. So I think it's just an abnormality. Because we're still we signed up 3 people in last week. So it's like we're still signing people up. It's just the holiday, 'tis the season,
I think definitely next week I'm gonna talk to some people and clarify, but just in general, like looking at the gym and then the one-on-ones and remote clients, like if you're in a dynamic like you're talking about with good weather, or like maybe even here, like where you're trying to get out to the snow, I think there's nothing wrong with that. Just integrating it in, like we talked about with someone's training structure. But I think to people a little bit more. I think there's more opportunity to do a little bit more training. Some people really enjoy it. You know, it's like I made the joke about pickleball.
Yeah,
If you
for
really,
those people. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, if someone wants more training, yeah, go in and do more training. What I was just trying to acknowledge was that it felt differently here,
Yeah.
but I think it's just the community that we have at the moment, right?
Yeah. We were straight up party time. I was loving it.
It's good. It's awesome.
Open gym was the best. We should just have open gym all day and
I
serve
mean, we
like
did have quite
donuts
a
and coffee and let everybody just get all crazy, like Planet Fitness.
yeah. The open gym when I left earlier today at like 1, there was like 8 people in there training. So like
Nice.
it's still people are around still doing it, right? Like I'm not saying that no one's in the gym, but it's the limited class schedule that we put out actually had less attendance than I was expecting. So like we had one 8 a.m. class today and there was 11 people, right?
Yeah.
It's just like
That's still good. It's all right. That's normal. Yeah, it's normal for like 10 to 20 is like most CrossFit gyms.
Yeah, for sure. It's normal.
Yeah. Till you get like those crazy 31s because like everybody and their mom wants to come do 12 days of Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone and their mom.
What about training like in general? I've never even thought of this because I would just hit it. But during the holidays, I think a lot of people, if you have somebody who's rushing a lot, would you change their training? I mean, I guess you wouldn't even know if they're rushing, I guess, like as far as like a one-on-one. I don't know. I've been thinking about a lot. Maybe you guys comment in the chats, but because I don't get a lot of feedback on like this was too much. I had to get to this thing. I wish actually if that's happening, I wish an athlete would tell me and say, "Oh man, this is way too much training."
I was kind of proactive. Like I had one of my guys. He was like, "Oh, we took a road trip for the holidays."
Dog party.
Dogs be dogging over there, dude.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah, I basically was just like, "Oh, if you're traveling." He's like, I already found gyms to drop into. I'm like, well, there's no need to do like your AM conditioning and then, or like AM on a structural work and then strength after like a different session. I was like, let's just give you one session. And he's like, no, I'm prepared to do 2. And I'm like, nah, you're just going to do 1 session, bro. Just like chill.
I try to force people to take class.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, like whenever they do travel, but he told me like the day before. So it wasn't like I
just think in general, like if someone's traveling, that's my go-to. I think there's a lot of value in it, having a good time. Typically around the holidays, I feel like you said, people are traveling either home or somewhere where they like are at or their families at, of parents or what have you. But it's cool to like see those communities. Like Meg went to Pennsylvania where her family's at. And I was like, just take the class. Like I gotta check in on with her what the class was today, but I know it kind of stresses her out. But I think it's super fun if you can get in, especially with an athlete that can do everything. Like you don't have any limitation. I could see why it'd be really frustrating if you were like an athlete that's in development, or like even just we have one-on-ones who want to learn how to do pull-ups, right? So like if you tell them to take class and they can't do pull-ups, that could be a little frustrating. We get 12 days of Christmas and you got to do. I keep bringing that one up because that's so popular for everyone to do. But let's say it's like number day 5 and you got to do what?
Everything comes out to 25 to 35 reps in workout.
So 25 pull-ups when you can't even do one. I could see how that'd be frustrating. But there's a varying degree there. But for people who can do everything to a degree, I think it's really fun just to take class and be in the community with whatever community you're at and meet some new people.
Yeah, I don't want new friends.
What? Come on. That's my go. I love it. Even like I mean my
people don't want friends.
I'm just kidding. I was gonna say Chris's partner trained with us and now we're all friends because we did that workout.
Yeah.
You know, just bring people together. Fitness brings people together.
I mean, that's exactly who I was talking about, Chris. Chris is the one that's out on trip. So yeah, he just loves training though too. He wants his, you know, he's probably in the mindset. He's like, hey, if I'm investing all this time, money, energy, he's like, I don't need a day of class. I want the day of my session, you know?
That's fair.
Yeah.
which is totally fair.
Yeah. What do you got, Tyler? What's the most common? I could go either way. You just tell me what you want as a coach.
Well, I mean, I think I rarely have people tell me that like it's too much during the holidays, because typically if you're a one-on-one, you want to be training. But I know like Brian Gaster, he's down, he's visiting his family, so he's just doing class while he's down there.
Yeah.
I told him, I was like, walk in like you've never done CrossFit before, and then smoke everybody.
That's not going to go well. He walks in, he looks like a CrossFitter.
I told him to just, like, ask questions like, do these thrusters, they come from the floor or out of the rack, and then just smoke them. But yeah, I feel like it's more about like the person, like is spending time with their family going to like refresh them? And if that is the case, like just do class and spend time with your family. If that's going to drain them, it's like, okay, well, maybe spend some more time at the gym. So
yeah, there's definitely those people. Man, I don't know. I felt like there was just a lot. Now it makes me sad because Harley was like, there's people who leave. There wasn't like a lot of people training because we had like a bunch of people training. I was all hyped up. It's like, this is great. We should have holidays all the time. This is so fun. It definitely reinvigorated my excitement.
Core group was in there training. Like I said, like
yeah.
Open gym was popping. I was just expecting that if we only had one class listed on a day, we would just have a large turnout. And I think it's just the holiday.
Yeah. I do know a lot of people were, I don't know, mumbling and grumbling about how much they ate and stuff, even though I tried to tell everybody to just not even worry about it.
Yeah.
They came in today just like, I overate too much, which could be a good sign that like you're eating the right amounts normally, which is cool and nice. But I think during these times, during training, like for the holidays or taking extra classes during the holidays, just don't track. Like if you're a tracker, you track your food, just don't track. If you overeat, don't worry about it. Like I think the problem is when you start to snowball it into the next week and the week after that, and like going and going and going.
Yeah, I heard somebody say, it was like the week between Christmas and New Year's is not going to ruin your fitness. It's the other 51 weeks that you have to worry about. It's like that's very true.
Yeah,
I don't buy it.
Of course not.
Of course not. Yeah. I mean, the biggest takeaways is like if you're an athlete, just tell your coach what you need to do. But I think I could give more training and have more extra stuff in the gym and open up more open gym time for people because people seem really excited. I loved it. It was cool. I don't know.
Yeah, dude. Training.
I used to.
Where's that, dog?
Yeah. Did you guys have any other perspective? Cody, you got any different perspectives of training during the holidays? I don't feel like it was hard for people. This was probably one of the first years I felt like it was very easy for people to
It's
train.
not, as long as they're realistic about what time they can allocate to it. I think otherwise, if they're not realistic and responsible enough to plan accordingly with their family and their loved ones, then that's a them problem. And I think that for the most part, as we get older, people get better at that. And then it's easy.
That's true. Maybe it's because we're getting old. Everyone's good at setting boundaries.
We're just so old.
Yeah, we're getting really old. Anybody watch WFP? No? I feel like it was the best one yet.
I was too busy.
Yeah. I caught up on it after the gym stuff. I was writing programming. I really enjoyed this one. I think if you guys are still watching, listening to us, WFP this season, I think everyone should do it. I think Matt Galpin was right. There's a good opportunity and a lot of attrition.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's good opportunity for those who are willing to weather the storm and give it a fair run and stay with it throughout the season. It's like rewarding consistency, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we were at Legends talking to Matt, and he did the Challenger in Tour Stop 1, did the Challenger in Tour Stop 2, and started collecting enough points. And then this finals was moved up because people dropped out and had enough points and was moved up into the pro division, which is pretty cool because didn't all pro divisions get paid?
I think so.
It'd be cool to see how much he got paid.
Yeah.
For funsies. But let's see what Cody said. Couldn't tell you who was winning the in-person event. That is true. That was a little confusing. They did have the overall from all tour stops, which once you figured it out, I actually kind of like that. So they did overall points from tour stop 1, tour stop 2, and then they're adding events every time you got points for an event. They're adding those points into the overall winner for the season, and then they also had the winner for Copenhagen. So having those two did, I think, create a little bit of confusion. But once you realized, oh, okay, this was going to be the overall season champion and this was the Copenhagen champion.
I mean, as long as it's labeled appropriately, then it shouldn't be that confusing. In rodeo at NFR, the National Finals Rodeo, they do the same thing because you can have the winner of the rodeo and then you have the world champion at the end of the season. So they'll broadcast and talk about who's winning the world championship or the world standings, and then they'll talk about who's winning the finals rodeo, right? Because they're two. It's the same concept.
Yeah, I mean, it's just hard because like you have an experience there, and then CrossFit historically has never done anything
Correct.
like that.
It's new relative
yeah.
to CrossFit because there has been no other.
If you watch golf, it's like the same
carrying points across the season.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you just have to have an experience with a sport like that, like rodeo or golf, or I think Formula One's like that too, right?
I would assume that there's quite a few like that.
Yeah, but you have to like be into those sports because
if you're just a guy who likes to lift weights alone in your garage, you're not gonna know shit.
You're not gonna know anything. But it was cool. I like how they did that. I think I think this one relative to the other ones, as far as like putting on the show and how they ran things, was great. They've made enough tweaks, got rid of some of the stuff. I like the lifting. They didn't do like the weird spotlight. They still darkened the floor, which was cool, but they had enough space where you could see. They didn't have that issue. Yeah, man. They took feedback and made improvements. I love it. I'm all for it. Let's go, everyone. WFP it.
You didn't wait. So they did a spotlight event, and you didn't like that
because you couldn't. The way that they just did the circle around the person when they did the shoulder overhead on tour stop 1.
Yeah.
And like when they stepped out of the light, you couldn't see like the celebration. So for the 1RM snatch, they had enough light where it was almost like it looked like a diagonal the way that people set up for the snatch, right? It's kind of weird. But either way, you could see the front and back person really, really well. Like there was no on the live feed for the overhead in tour stop 1, it was hard to see. If you were there in person, I'm sure it was fine. But then live with the snatch, it was great. You could see everything. So I liked it. What's Cody saying? Like if you only paid attention to the Instagram posts, ignored the points from the season they made, it seemed like Jack Farlow, Guy, and battling for podium. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't really following along with that very much.
Yeah, I can't say. I don't have anything to add to that.
Yeah. It was still cool though. So that's a good one. Let's see what else is coming up. I think there's a lot of comps coming up just around the corner as far as the first. I think everyone should be starting to gear up and just compete.
There are 3 qualifiers in January.
Yep. NCC,
Monster Games, and Magic City.
Oh, and Adirondack.
Magic City.
4.
Yeah. Well, Adirondack for us because it's so close. I'm trying to convince everybody in this local area to do it because it's fun and it's close. Magic City. Is Magic City going to be
Birmingham, Alabama?
Yeah. But is their event going to be when they do the Masters or age group? Yeah, Masters.
Yeah,
not age group, Masters. So they're going to have. So this is the qualifier for that event.
If you're not going through the season, correct?
Okay.
So they're trying to I found it interesting. So like Celine messaged me and was like, "Hey, they asked me to do the qualifier. Like,
they asked me to do the qualifier.
Do a lot of people get
nice
for this?" And I was like, I would assume yes. I think they're just trying to go down the open leaderboard and or anyone who's ever done a CrossFit event ever and just invite them to do the qualifier. And then I went to my
which is not a bad.
It's not a bad strategy.
Play. Yeah.
But if you're, I mean, I think that was just a mass execution.
December 15th. Hey, Hope you're doing well. I just wanted to personally invite you to jump into the Magic City Games qualifier for this season. If you sign up between December 31st, you'll automatically be entered to win our WOW box, a $500 value with Magic City Games backpack, Yeti water bottle, shirts, frog grips, sweatbands, and more. Here's the registration. Love to see you on the leaderboard, Kate.
Cool.
Did you sign up?
No, but I just wanted to read that because I thought it was funny.
It's very personal, but at the same time, they just send it to everyone, and then, which is just a mass marketing effort. I think the one thing
nothing wrong with it. I like it.
I just don't think that the people who believe that they have an opportunity to go to semifinals won't do that.
Yeah.
So like, which is fine because it's supposed to be like the RX division, but I think that like a lot of people probably are going to be like, a lot of people who have high hopes are going to be like, oh, I'm not going to do that. And then they're going to get just smashed on it in quarterfinals and then never make it to anything. No way.
What is
Cody,
the
they messaged you too.
Yeah, Cody got messaged. They're so Magic City, which is good. That's a good event if you want to do some monster games. How responsible
good one, Cody.
To do
Hope you're doing well. It's in your best interest not to participate in this qualifier if you want to compete in the season.
Anyways, is it though? Like I was gonna say, that's like how damaging do you guys think? I've been thinking a lot about this because I don't really know. I think the only way you're gonna know is if you test it with some people, put them through who are willing to do it because they want to like qualify for something, and like just do like 3 qualifiers because essentially you would end up just probably doing qualifiers every day based on like when
for sure
because the monster games, Magic City, and NCC are at the same time, sorta, right?
Yeah, it would just turn
actually they might be exactly at the same time.
It would turn into a very, very fatiguing and tiring experience, but your odds of getting into something are probably pretty high.
Yeah. Well, if someone wanted to, so let's see, when is this qualifier? If someone wanted to, what would be some tips? Dude, why does it not say on the NorCal when the qualifier is? Like that should be the first post. This is the problem with some of these things. All right. January 9th, found it. But it should be the first post, not the fourth. Tips. All right. So January 9th for NCC. And then let's check out Monster Games. Monster Games. Also, problem here. At least they have the qualifier equipment list is the 4th post. They tell you when the event is. January 29th through February 17th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 posts down. If you're watching this, that's not a criticism. It's just helping you like pin that post as the first pin post so people can sign up. And then Magic City. So far, you'd have that one, the 29th through the 7th. And then NCC starts February 9th. So you have that one. And then Magic City. Look at them in the bio. Qualifiers, January 16th. So you go Magic City, then Monster Games, then NCC. Back-to-back weeks.
Oof.
Now, if we knew how many workouts, that could help shape our decision a little bit better. But I still think,
I mean, pure blanket recommendations would be have training days that aren't qualifiers if possible, and work on your priorities. Period. So like designate 1 to 2 training days a week that is lower volume, focused priority work for your skill development and or strength deficiencies that you have. Allocate 1 day to either pure rest or like easy work and active recovery for longevity and sustainability. So that takes out 2 to 3 of your training days. The other days, you need to treat the qualifiers with as much intensity and focus as possible and do 1 to maybe 2 per day, depending on how many workouts get announced within the designated windows of time to do them. And so really you have to create balance of stimulus without being married to a movement pattern And that's your guiding line so that you just aren't fried instantly. Like fried by week 2. Because if you're doing 3 weeks of qualifiers of 3 different qualifiers, I think that's like.
Well, there's going to, I hate to say this, even though people say, oh, CrossFit's constantly varied. There's going to be a lot of redundancy.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Is there's going to be so much redundancy across those 3 qualifiers. So like they're going to fill in 80% of your training and the redundancy and common movement combinations are going to be great sport specific practice. So the rest of your week needs to be recovery focused and your specific limitation focused.
Do you think if you had an athlete who is looking to get at least the quarterfinals, let's say, doing those 3 weeks would dampen their opportunity to get to quarterfinals? The Open is February 26th.
The Open is 25%. I think that most people are going to be if they're doing 3 qualifiers in a month, they're going to get to quarterfinals.
Okay. And then the quarterfinals is March 26th.
I mean, their execution in quarterfinals may be dampened and their top end placement may be dampened, but I think that everyone who's doing that can get there.
What about someone who's trying to go semifinals? I think that's a bad play.
Unless you're a shoe-in.
Well, NCC, you can get right into that semifinals. So
that would give you. So that would be the rationale. I think if you're genuinely a semifinal aspiring athlete, you do NorCal and you skip the other 2.
Okay.
And that's it. Not because NorCal is the superior, it's because they're letting you qualify to the elite division through their qualifier. So that you're chasing the opportunity by doing that qualifier. And then otherwise you need to focus on shoring up all weak points in your game.
That's in the chance that you don't make it to the qualifier, right? Because you're looking at semifinals.
Well, ideally, I would say, ideally, you're still trying to go to quarters because then you could potentially go and get another semifinal opportunity at insert any other event, Legends, et cetera.
Yeah. So what you're saying is if you can make it in the 25 percentile, you don't worry about the Open.
Not at all. You're just training for the Open. Like, I think anyone who's considering doing in-person competitions are probably good enough to be top 25% as is. And you just train through the Open and focus all of your sights on quarterfinals or other opportunities to have in-person competitive endeavors.
When's the WFP? Tyler, would you do anything different?
Not really. I think it depends on the person though. Like, I mean, like Harley said, like if you're doing all 3 qualifiers, you're increasing your chances of making one of them at least, and you're probably already going to make into quarters. But I know like I've got an athlete who she just loves competing and doing quarterfinals, but qualifiers. And but like I think if she did all 3 of those, I don't think she would do well in any of them because it would be too much for her.
I agree. I think many people will probably fall into that camp too.
Do we know if the qualifier 1? Well, no, we don't know because they haven't told the season for 2026 for the World Fitness Project. But last year, the qualifier 1 was March 19th through March 25th, which was basically like right after the end of the Open. But let's say it is still like that. You could have an athlete who's just trying to get opportunities and play. You would essentially, I guess you would just have to choose and decide like, hey, this is where I'm going to put my money. Because I'm sure there's other qualifiers happening between the months of January through April. And you set up as like that be your season of qualifiers. And then you get into whatever you get into, and then you have your competition season whenever that competition is, or 2 competitions, and then you would structure your off season during that time. I got to talk to some of my athletes because I do want to see who was willing to just like get after it and do like what Harley was saying. But it would be a thing where you'd program like the night before every single day for them for training.
Yeah.
So it'd be a lot of work, but it'd be cool to see. It'd be fun to try as a coach. It'd be fun to try and manage the training volume and the training loads and the movement patterns and everything else. Like it's a fun little puzzle to see if you can manipulate those workouts to get positive adaptations.
I think you get away with riding 3 days a week, 3 days at a time.
Yeah, depending on when the qualifier falls. Like
when
like
it falls, when it's released.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. When it falls and when it's released, you're going to have many moments of bottlenecks of workflow where you're just waiting on the next qualifier to get announced.
Yeah.
And you're just kind of like, well, we'll just wait and see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting. There's a lot of opportunity this year, I think. Even now that ahead of time said like how like last year they didn't say ahead of time that NCC was going to be the qualifier for the semifinal. And then they like kind of retroactively said like, hey, those of you guys who did this now get to compete in the field of play for semifinals. And I think there was one other comp that also had that happen to them as well. Was it TFX? It was TFX also, I believe. But now that we know, like now puts the stakes on of like, what are you gonna train for? What are you gonna do? But one of the things I was thinking about was that a lot of people train, even GPP, like class goers, train pretty hard. I was trying to talk to our members. We already have 20 or 12 people that have signed up for oh my God, Adirondack. I know we were like talking about it. I was just like, if you're not gonna do like Harley lives in Colorado where people go out and they like try to do Leadville or they try to run an ultra marathon or like they do all kinds of crazy mountain biking stuff. And like, that's cool. Like I'm all for that. But here in like Rochester, the community itself is not really like movement forward, you could say. So I'm trying to just get people to get into the idea of like, hey, I'm going to use my exercise and go out and do a competition. The hard part is
fitness, dog.
Yeah, the hard part is getting them into competitions because nowadays it's so competitive. Like you have people training 2 to 3 hours a day doing these like local comps. So it is a tough sell, but I do think there's a lot of value in like people right now, because we talk about New Year's resolutions. And if they're athletes, whether you're a general physical preparedness person or a competitive athlete, like there's tons of competitions and tons of opportunity for you to flex all of the training that you've done throughout the year. Because you should have had an off season to a degree, or you're just training because you're going to class and like get in this cycle of like, okay, I'm going to use this event. Like I like Nick Bear talks about it a lot of like prep. Like he's going to sign up for this event and then do 12 weeks of prep. And he talks about in his book how that term and that thought process came from when he did bodybuilding, but he's just like taken that and applied it to training, applied it to the ultra endurance events that he's done, the High Rock stuff, and now his Ironman, and like using that mindset of prep to build yourself into something physical, to challenge yourself, which I think has a ton of value. And that was one of the biggest things from Legends that I took away after watching all those athletes. You know, Harley asked me the night at the end of the weekend when we went out to dinner, like what my favorite moment was. I couldn't really like think of one, to be honest, at the time, but retroactively I thought about it. It's watching people put on display like their hard work, even though this is a quote unquote hobby or recreational thing. Like they don't have to. None of these masters have to do any of this. But the value that they get out of it, the opportunity they get, and coming to these competitions, I've tried to make this analogy for people is like, there's not many things in life. Like if you're sitting on your mountain bike at the top of a run or like a skis or snowboard and you're standing at the top, what happens next is all dependent on your preparedness and physicality. It's like almost the Boy Scout saying like, be prepared. What is it? Dang, I forget what it is. I don't know. But either way, you drop in on that hill, like it's all on you, dude. You know, like whatever happens next depends on your skill, your ability, your strength, how much you've been riding on the mountain. You know, same thing for when they say 3, 2, 1, go on that workout floor. Like whatever happens after that buzzer is all on you and your preparedness, you know?
I always like, there was many moments when I was training for the second race last year and going Tahoe, and I had gotten the job at Arsenal and life was busy. And I'm like, man, like I barely have time to do these training rides. And I'm just like, well, you don't have a choice. Cause if you don't, you're just going to hurt yourself. Like I mean, in that level of endurance, it's no longer like, you're just gonna have a bad time. It's like, no, like you're gonna be in physical pain and you're gonna like be actually like at risk of like hurting yourself if you're not preparing for these events. So it's like your prep may need to be more extensive or less extensive. I think in CrossFit, like you're only going to just get stuck and stand there if you don't prepare.
Sure.
And like you're just gonna go slower. And there's always a time cap and you kind of an out. And like, don't get me wrong, that's like kind of the beauty of it too, is that if you're good enough to get to these in-person events, but you don't prepare appropriately, yeah, you're just going to have these moments of like, well, I can't do the thing in front of me. But like, you're not actually at risk of like anything other than hurting yourself, other than you're hurting your ego. And like, I think that's kind of the beauty in CrossFit and intensity, is that for those who have the ability to truly tap into the top end output for whatever the given test is, they can like hurt themselves. You know what I mean? Like they can black out. Like watching Chris do that dumbbell snatch burpee box mover workout, like he put himself into a world of hurt for that 4 minutes, and yet it paid off greatly, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that like that's where CrossFit's special on the other end of the, you know, spectrum of output.
For sure. Yeah. And that is one of the things, is just looking at that and seeing the human side of it. Cause that's not like a training thing. Like it is a training thing that he's trained to do that and he's practiced and everything else. But like, because he is trained, he's able to turn his brain into like, I've done this a lot and I can go there, only because of what's like backing it up. But it's then like, once you put that aside, it's like, dude, that's pretty crazy that he's able, or most of these people are able to put their brain in that position of like,
I mean, there were 6 people, I think, in his division that were within one burpee box jump of each other.
Yeah.
There was like a 3 or 4 way tie for one number of reps. And then first place was a 2-place tie, like a 2-way tie. So there was like 5 to 6 people within one burpee box jump. And then it all came down to a tie break.
Yeah. And you know that those people are putting in the same volume at minimum, because you can't do the work if the volume's not there, you're not doing that.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, like the intensity value, the other stuff that layers in, and then the uniqueness of your psychology that allows you to go there. You're right. You're not going to get that like mountain biking or like doing endurance stuff, because you can almost like stop. Like if you're snowboarding, like in my analogy, like you could just stop and like wait a little bit, rest, and then go down the hill. Or you could just like snow plow down the hill really slow and be like, that didn't work out.
Uphill mountain biking, you don't really get the choice to stop.
Well, that's
which
true.
Is one aspect of it. But like the interesting part about ultras and trail running is you just walk. Like you can always just walk. Like, and it's sure, like if you're like bonking or you're past your threshold and tolerance, like yes, you're going to be uncomfortable, but like you can always just walk. Biking, I think, is unique because you cannot always just walk, but you have moments of coasting and using downhills, which, you know, in trail running and ultras, you are still carrying your body weight down the hill, even though you're walking. So you don't get to just throw it in neutral.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just really inspiring just to like know that it's just something they're doing for the love of the game, basically.
I mean, a lot of people do this stuff for the love of the game, whether it be CrossFit or endurance or pickleball, you know, like they love balling that pickle, dude.
Balling that pickle. Yeah. I mean, there's always like the different level, but I think it's a good time to just sit back and be like, okay, there's opportunities for me to play this with my fitness, even if that's like a high rocks, or like, even though you joke about pickleball, I just don't like pickleball because so many people, I know a lot of people have torn their Achilles and their ACL playing pickleball. It's crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
good.
far too, I know more people have done that than in like CrossFit. Like even if you go other injuries, I know more people have injured themselves playing pickleball than CrossFit.
I agree.
And I've only known people doing pickleball like over the last couple of years. Yeah, I've done CrossFit for 15 years. I know more people hurt themselves. That's why I pick on it, because it seems really dangerous. I don't know why it's happening. Haven't really looked into it. But, you know, it's probably because, like Cody's saying, it gets serious with the pickleball. But even still, like going out and doing that, and if you practice and you're like learning these skills, you're playing with the paddle, and like, yeah, it's cool. Like that's what you need to do. I think that's something like, even just when I was thinking about like training during the holidays, like why are you here in the gym when you could be like with your family, or, those types of things. It's like, well, maybe somebody has like these huge goals that they want to achieve and challenge themselves in a space. And like, this is something that we can do that in. And I think I've downplayed that probably too much because, you know, it has that stigma. Like, well, I'm not like in the gym, like I'm not a competitive athlete. So why does it matter? And yeah, sure, that might be true to a small degree, but I think I want to like over the next year, 2026, like kind of change that mindset. Like everyone who chooses to come in and like put themselves on the line is a competitor, whether you want that or not, like you are. It's just the difference of like, and I've thought about this a little bit, and I'm open to like having a greater conversation. I would love for people who's listening still to give me feedback, because I think someone who does a competitive quote unquote program is someone who does the requisite volume that would push you into that zone of competition. And what I mean by that is if you watch some of these competitive athletes and they got to do 100 chest to bar, you're doing a program that will get you to do the 100 chest to bar. And then you could go all the characteristics and all the movements and go down that list. And if you're doing a program that's pushing you in that direction, I would say that's a competitive program. Doesn't mean that you're not a competitor. It just means that you're doing a competitive program versus like not a competitive program. That's what my working thought process right now. Love feedback, not today, but from you guys. Love feedback from anybody listening. But I do think there's value in people pushing themselves a little bit harder, picking bigger goals, and trying to compete in something.
All right. Speaking of goals, what's your resolution, Todd?
I don't do resolutions.
Oh,
thank you.
Pussy. What?
I don't think there's anything to resolve.
I know. There's nothing resolute.
I don't know.
You don't do, I mean, this
there
is something
there are things I want to change and like get better at, but I don't know if I want like I guess that falls under the term resolution. Maybe I should Google what it actually, like the full definition of resolution.
I mean, I'm just thinking about like, what's your goals for the future?
Well, you talk first. I'm going to look up resolution because now I want to know the full definition.
Fine. I'll talk while you just Google words you don't know.
No, I want to know the full a firm decision to do or not do something. Yeah, I don't like that.
What is it?
A firm decision to do or not do something. I'm not on that board. I don't think there's
I just
the quality of being determined or resolute. Okay, I get more on that definition. The action of solving a problem, dispute, or contentious matter.
Yeah,
that's finding a resolution.
That's like resolution, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just reading all the.
Yeah, so like I think of it as like, what's my current problem, and like, am I going to solve it? And so I do not use them in the constructs of New Year's resolutions, and I have to wait till January to do that.
Why not? It's so fun.
But some things I have already been thinking about, which I outlined what my current training split is, right? And like that's my resolution. Like I just felt that a lot of my training was sort of like aimless, and I've just been doing class workouts and like just working out to work out, which because I don't have a goal, I don't have an event, I don't have something to prep for, to your point. So right now I'm just going to do that. And I've been feeling pretty strong just through doing class workouts. My expression of strength is pretty high. And we all know that I'm a pretty high responder to those types of things without like really focusing on it. So I'm just going to focus on it for a little bit and see if I can hit those PRs or hit a PR or two, and then go on about my life. And like, that's the short-term resolution or goals of fitness. And then I would like to use this new camera I got, and I would like to try to just start this new hobby, and like, that's it. So whether it's a specific smart goal that's measurable, attainable, actionable, whatever, like that doesn't matter to me. It's just more of like, these are the directions I want to pursue. And I have these types of reflections probably quarterly, so yeah, dude, 500-pound squat, boy.
Yeah, I think maybe this is why I just looked up the like resolution versus goal. I think this is probably why I'm against it, is because the plan for a resolution versus a goal, resolution typically lacks a detailed plan or action steps, relying more on willpower. I don't really like that. Whereas like a goal,
not a smart goal. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's things in the goal. Like when I look at this table that was created, there's things in the goal that I don't really like. So it's hard to, that was crazy. Words are crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's all impression. Like it's all interpretation and like what you take from it and apply to it. But yeah, I mean, I just think of it as it's a goal and it's me finding a solution through reflection, right? But I do that, like I said, quarterly and regularly anyways. So it's not about New Year's, it's just what's my short-term goal.
Yeah, I think when I look at it and think about it, it's just I think there's a level of like in workouts for a long time now, I don't go hard enough. Like I don't want to go there. Like I used to do that a lot.
Bro, we did shuttle runs and burpees and you were scared to hit zone 4.
Listen, I was not scared. Dude, you were breathing like an elephant. Okay, let's stop right now.
Yeah, and I fucking whooped that ass, dude.
Oh my God. No, you did not.
You got to breathe hard in this sport, dude.
Okay. So I think there's where I'm like, because I know what that feels like and I've done it enough, I just like don't like it. And I think there's like, you watch Brooke Wells's documentary, if you like, Marissa and I put it on, we were doing some programming. And in the end there's a part where she just talks about like the last couple of years, it was hard for her to go hard. And I think there's a level of that where like, it is a skill that you have to practice and be aware that it can be dampened. And I think that's where I want to learn how I can better articulate like how you can modulate this thing called CrossFit or concurrent training or mixed modal or whatever you want to call it to help people understand. Because I was talking the other day about how, okay, I've done this type of training for my fitness for the last 15 years. And I haven't like quote unquote burnt out. I didn't like haven't just quit and given it up. Haven't got like super overweight and then like lean again. Like there's never been a gap. Like obviously there's been a gap in like performance metrics, like we talked about. Like right now, if you asked me to and put a gun to my head, I could probably snatch like 250. I don't feel like that's a huge loss in like 275 snatch. Same thing like back squat. Like I've done 405, but right now I've done 370. Like it's not a huge loss. So when I look at those things, it's can I systemize and articulate and grasp how to do that for other people, meaning like general population people, or even athletes coming out of like the competitive, era of their life, like Taylor Swift, it's their competitive era, the Eras Tour. What is it? I don't even know what she says. I was trying to be funny, but I know zero about Taylor Swift. Anyways, but yeah, I think like that would be my goal this year is to look at like, what is that? I don't want to say balance, but what is that good training structure? Is somebody struggling with going hard? Why are they struggling with that? What are some steps and measures you can do to get that piece back? Because there is a lot of value. Like when I say go hard, like there is a ton of value in just doing like echo bike and burpees and just smashing yourself in the face and then having a sandwich and like you're good for the day. You know what I mean? But like you really have to take that intensity to 10 out of 10.
I don't like that.
What?
I don't like that.
I know, but that's a easiest example because there is no limit on like, other than you.
I don't like intensity. I just like,
well, we're working on it. Let's sit down. We'll have a consult. Let's have a conversation. I want to learn and grow. But yeah, I think that's like, if we're going to say resolutions or goals, I want to learn what that is, why that is, and like help people walk themselves through that. Cause I've seen a lot of people over the years, just poof, give it up, and I don't think that's healthy. I don't think throwing the baby out with the bathwater is a good idea. And I think there's a lot of longevity in this type of training. It's just no one's teaching people how to go through those ebbs and flows or that undulation or the seasons of life or like whatever it is. So I think over the next year, I'm going to try to figure that out to my best ability and then go from there.
Concurrent models work really nicely, and then just quality volume accumulation via EMOMs and E through like 1, 2,
Harley's
3.
taking it easy over here.
Like with structured rest periods after each set and or easy aerobic work, like that creates a ton of longevity, but maintenance to the volume required for the sport. So you can easily use those structures to regulate your intensity, give your system and mind a break from that 10 out of 10 effort while, maintaining enough that when you're ready to get back to it, you can.
Yeah.
And you maintain a lot. Like through my last year and a half of not doing a lot of CrossFit, like it only took me 3 months to get back to feeling really strong, like relative to top end numbers.
Problem is most people won't wait that long.
I know it's
you're a
hard,
unique butterfly.
sure.
Harley's like 3 months is nothing. Drop in the pond. Everyone's like 3 months. No,
it's 12 weeks. You do a 8-week squat cycle.
Look at I'm on your team with that.
That's 2 months.
I'm just telling you what people say. You know,
all right, just tell them you're gonna do a 12-week cycle and not say it's the month word, and everyone will be like, okay, I'm down. And it's like, yeah, that's 3 months. You'll be fine.
Well, yeah, we did the Imam Club every Tuesday. Cody has the actual number. I said 12 weeks the other day, but I think it was a slightly longer than that. And it was like, oh, dude, we just like hammered that out for like 3 months, like no problem. And no one said anything until they realized, should have never said it at the whiteboard, that we just did that for 3 months. Created awareness around it. What do you mean we did this that long?
Don't do that.
Well, on my journey of trying to go hard, every Friday, Meg and I are going to do 4-minute AMRAP, 12 cow echo, 12 burpees. Rest 3 minutes. 4 sets.
You're going to do that every Friday?
Every Friday.
All
try
right.
to build my mental resilience. Hey, you know, we didn't do it this Friday because she's gone. So anytime she's gone or I'm gone, we won't do it. But we should figure out a way to still do it. I probably should have did it today. Now I have regret. But anyways, yeah.
Feel so bad about yourself.
I don't.
That's good.
She bullied me into doing her workout with her on Wednesday.
She seems like the bully type.
She did. She texted me Tuesday night and was like, do you want to do this? And I said, absolutely not. And then the bullying proceeded. Thought you said you want to get good at fitness. You need to train more. I'm going to push you to train more. You should train a lot more. I don't know why. You always complain that you don't train enough.
Train lots.
It's just like, it was great. It was very good. And I enjoyed it.
All right. Well, I think.
What about Tyler? Hold on. Does Tyler have any resolutions, goals / whatever word we need to create for this?
So I'm in the same bank as I think Harley said of like it. I don't like New Year's resolutions because it's like I'm not going to wait until like if it's September and be like I'm just going to wait till January to start working on this. But like one of them, the thing I said in Slack about just being more thankful when things are less than good, working on that. As far as fitness, like I'm just trying to stay consistent right now. I got to that point of where it's like I don't like going hard anymore, and I understand the value of intensity, but I'm just like I'm also just injury riddled as well, so that makes it hard for me to want to do things intensely when I hurt all the time. So I'm just trying to stay consistent with it right now. I want to get stronger. But as far as like,
what does consistency mean to you?
Like consistently working out 5 days a week.
5 days. Cool. Yeah, I was looking for the quantified value.
Gotcha. 5.
Smart goal.
Yeah.
The M.
The measurable.
The measurable part. Yeah. So 5 days, but in the same way of like, because I got to the point where I was like we were talking about before we got on of like, I used to do fitness a lot and I used to love it, but I got to the point where I didn't like doing it anymore. And I didn't like that intensity anymore. So getting to the point where it's like enjoying it as something that I do and not something that I have to do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a hard one. I also think if you want, like anybody who struggles with the intensity piece, and I'm very good about this, and Cody knows, and he makes fun of me about it, but I'm very good about just stopping. Like if it's too hard, and because I'm just trying to get back in, I'll just fucking stop. I'm like, all right,
I can't do that.
I'll get those next reps later. Like I have no problem. I think that's like a superpower of mine. I was just like, nah, I'm done.
Yeah.
And like,
if it's written down, I have to do it.
Oh yeah, I don't have that issue. Because then I will like in my brain, I'm like, well, the point is to go beyond threshold and get VO2 max. So then I start like scientifically justifying it in my brain and being like, that's not a quality session because now you're below threshold and you're not getting those adaptations. And I just walk away. And I feel fine about it. I'm like, dude, yeah, it's science. But yeah, I think learning how to just be able to stop also is helpful in that process of like going hard again.
Yeah.
What I did when I was like I was doing some pretty like hard EMOMs and I wasn't really ready for them yet. is I would just like add in an extra S minute and then just try to pick back up at the rate of travel I wanted.
Cody said, why you dog me for skipping pieces? Because volume, in the scenario of yourself and your goal, we all know volume is king.
Yeah, dude. Focus on your own lane, Cody.
Well, maximum recoverable volume, though. So maybe he's right. Maybe I should not dog him.
No, he recovers fine.
Okay.
He's the one over here with the flu doing bodybuilding and strict muscle ups. There's no fucking room to complain.
That's true. Anyways, well, that was a good catch up, guys. Training during the holidays, more training for everyone. Merry Christmas. And I think it was a good time. I'm really happy with it. And next week, I would like to dive into why doing class is just really inappropriate for a lot of people.
In what way?
All right. See you later.
Yeah, see you later. We'll talk about it next week. Write it down. Think about it. If you're interested in that one, come on here next week, Fridays.
Quit your gym. Use that as your resolution.
You could do that. You could do that. I wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
That's not why. No, it's you. Yeah, we'll talk about it. How you can amplify. You should still do class. It's fun with the community and everything else. But,
All right. Love you. Bye.
See you. Love you. Bye.
See you, dude.